You are live. Welcome, everyone, to Motor City Aquatics and happy Thanksgiving. Well, it will be soon, but I have a thing with doing holiday shows. I like to do holiday shows, the day before, in case, anyone wants to come on and hang out and chill. Uh, I don't know. I just like getting on, makes it a little more comfortable to more relaxing the day before a holiday. Plus, if there's anyone, that isn't doing anything for the holidays and wants to just come on and hang out and listen or come on and, kick the shit, then there you go. But so we got a new camera, a new webcam. It's a little crooked. So we got a new webcam. I hope it's coming in really good and it looks better than the other one, because the other one, I don't care what anybody says. They said they didn't see the line in the camera and when I was streaming last time, but I saw it. And so I know it's taken like 50 falls. So I got a new webcam today. Went to Best Buy and see the mic that I have is an Elgato. What is a Wave 3. And so today I figured, get something that, might as well keep the same software on the computer. So I got the Elgato Facecam webcam today. That's what we're using now. We're not using the I think it was the 920 or the 922 Pro, the Logitech. I dropped it a lot. I think it came in, did really good when I first got it, but I've been using it for, some years now. Here it is here. Just that Logitech 1080. This is 1080, 60 frames per second. This has a lot of high-end stuff on it, but the quality, it's just the picture quality, stuff gets better over the years and stuff. And I'd rather have just upgrade little things here and there, for picture quality. That's all. I mean, I have the same computer I've been using for years. It's an MSI gaming computer, a laptop. But I just have a thing with, it's got I wouldn't want to go on and watch some crappy video, so I try to get better equipment, so it looks good. But so, yep, we came to hang out, and I just dropped my phone and busted it. First time in, I don't know, since I was 30, probably 36. I'm 51 now. It slipped off of here. It slipped off my chair twice, and it finally hit and it busted. So if I still have the insurance, it'll only cost me a couple bucks. Yeah, I know, right? But that's the new the S23 Samsung Ultra, and without insurance it's like 400 and some bucks, but with insurance it's what do we pay? Luke dropped his not long ago and he got a new screen on his. What was it, like 25 bucks or something? And then I called to cancel the insurance, but I don't know if we have to have insurance on all three or if it's just insurance itself. It's probably on all three, so I'm gonna have to call and get it turned on, because I can get it turned on like one day and then the next day go and get it repaired and then like cancel the insurance. They don't care. So YFI, what's happening? What's going on? So yep, just figure I'd come on and hang out for a little bit, say happy Thanksgiving, and see who's sitting at home not doing anything, and sees the stream and comes on and kicks it. Trying to get a lot of water. I don't know why I'm so feeling dehydrated lately. It might be my meds that I take. I mean, I don't take a lot, but stupid stuff that I do take. Oh, all these little the baby CPDs over here. They're getting big. I'm gonna have to put them in the tank with the adults. The tank that's over there, the 13.5. Yeah, it is. The 13.5 gallon over there, I just been dumping CPD eggs in there. So that thing is going to be slam packed with babies soon. There's babies already hatched in there, but there's going to be a lot in that tank. But this tank here, once these guys are, I could scoop them out now and put them in the big tank over there. But the minute I scoop them out of here, then I'm going to break this tank down. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it hatching tank. That's probably what I'll do. Have 2 tanks to hatch them in. Screw it. I don't mind. But yep, it is a little dead tonight, but it is what it is. Hey, I remember when I started this channel, shoot, I used to come on here when you first start. No one even knows who you are. You have no subscribers, and I'd stay on here like 4 or 5 hours. You go to some of my first streams I do, I'd just be on here for forever, just to try to get things going and everything. But yeah, tonight it's just it was a good day. Went to also when we got the new camera tonight. Luke got a new the new Oculus, the Meta 3. So I bought him. Me and Mama bought him the new Meta 3. So he has the Oculus 2, but he's had it for a long time, probably, I don't know, maybe 3 years now, 2 years, and he's taking care of it. It's in mint shape. So he's been really good. So I bought that for him. We bought it for him tonight. So he's got the brand new Oculus. It's cool because the old handles had that big ring on them, and now they figured out a way to take those rings off of there, and it's just a handle now without that halo on it. He said, "That's me." Yeah, but so yeah, we got that and got the camera tonight. So I figured I'd come on here, check it out, and see how good it looked, if it came in good on the other side, because this has a lot more controls on it than the other one. So skin color and this and that and noise control, and like I said, it's got the 1080p with the 60 frames per second, and I don't pay the next up for StreamYard. I pay for a certain amount of StreamYard so I can have 10 people come on here, but I don't pay that next level up to where I can use 4K. I can stream in 4K. So 1080p camera's fine. I mean, I don't need anything more than that. Well, that's good if it looks good. Thanks. Yeah, it's just trying to get everything, the look, because like my basement, I'm getting it all finished now. I haven't made it down to this end yet, the walls, but everything down there is all trimmed out. The couch, the TV, the rec center area. And I was going to do it from there, and it looked good because I was like pumping the TV or the computer up onto the television, for like a big screen. And, but with just the lamps on each side of the couch, it looked a little dim. Well, they're not super bright lights, so I might do it over there next time and just see. But yeah, I was just wondering how it was here. It looks good, but you never know on the other end, because when I was doing it over there, when I was pumping it to the television, it looked really good on the computer, but on the television it looked yellow, because the bulbs are a warm, they're not the blue, the cool light, they're the warm, the yellowy lights. That's what I like. I don't like the blue lights. This one up here is a blue light, the bulb, and I don't like it. So so I've been trying different areas and stuff to see what it looks like and see how sharp it comes in. But it's just going to take, work, because with glasses, I can't have like light shining this way. I can have like light, like hitting the wall maybe, but anything is gonna, like the computer, shines off my glasses. So if I put a ring light or anything, I see people do ring lights and you see the ring right in their glasses. I don't know, that's irritating to me. I used to have a ring light and I wouldn't use it. I don't like even seeing the computer on this side, but I can't have like a camera just sitting in front of me and just talking to this little itty bitty screen, without, I don't know, I'm just not that, I guess, that far to where I can just do that and, be able to do it. I don't know. I don't know if it's a comfortable thing or just an ability to do that, or like put the camera off to the side and, keep glancing over to, see the conversation and stuff. I don't know. So I'm just used to this. But yeah, the stuff in my glass, and up to a couple of years ago, I didn't even wear glasses. So, when I started this channel, I didn't wear glasses, and it just got worse over time. So, but then I went to not do a job today, but I went to look at a side job today, a big electrical job that they wanted me to do. And they asked me, I guess, someone that they know, their wife passed away, and she's got a big, huge tank with a big turtle in it, and it needs a home. And I said, well, I'm not going to give the turtle a home, but I can get it a home, because my buddy's pet store has the big ponds. So I could take it to his store and he could put it in the pond, up by the front, because the kids come in and see it all the time. So they come in, so we'll see if they call me on that. Now, I don't know about the tank. I think it's got like a green terror or something in there with it. It's a big turtle, it feeds it well, but yeah, it's like a green terror and the tank is only filled halfway. I really don't want to, empty it, like take it to help the person out, cause it's just, I really don't have a vehicle that I could put big tanks in like that. I mean, I could put a 125 in my car if it's fine, but I think this is a taller one, like, it might be a 4-foot 125 or a 90 or something. And I mean, it'll go in, but it's got a stand and all that stuff. And I just don't want to mess with it. I'll take the turtle and give it a home, but I don't want to mess with the tank and everything. It's too much to mess with that if you don't have a truck. Even with the truck, it's hard. But yeah, big tanks are nice, but I don't know. I've had so many tanks and it's just like I'm just comfortable now. I don't know. I just found this 60 breeder tank, and I don't know. It's that middle, that comfort zone, because it's not too small, it's not too big. I think a 90 is just a funky size. A 75 is a funky size. A 55 is a funky size. I don't like any of the shapes, but the 60 breeder, I've always liked breeders. I like 30s, 40s, 50s. Well, actually, I like the 30, the 50 more than the 40s, and then these 60s are really, really nice. Yeah. I actually saw somebody on Marketplace. They're not far from me, maybe a half hour from me, and they have big, huge tanks for salt water to put all sorts of coral and stuff in them. But my buddy that owns a store, a guy brought in it's an acrylic tank for coral. And it's like, I think it's like a 4x3 or something. Man, it's really nice. It's all drilled and everything. He said, yeah, I'm not selling this. I'm taking it home. So I've given him like tons of shrimp, Caradina, because he turned it into a big, huge Caradina tank, a really low think it was I don't know, maybe 8 inches tall. I'll say 8 inches tall. I was gonna get it myself, but I didn't want to do it. So he actually has it like a big coffee table type thing um at his house. So um yeah, and I guess he has it all full. I haven't seen it, so but yeah, there's a lot of people selling their stuff. It's I don't know if times are tough or what, but that's what I'm saying. What I have now is comfortable. I sell the fish I breed, I sell the plecos I breed, so I make I can make some money off of it. I don't really. I mean, I'll sell shrimp, but it's I'm breeding. I breed them to get them as high end. I mean, they're high grade shrimps as it is, but I want to get them just as their markings as high as I can. But like anything that I call out of the tank, selectively breed out of the tank, I sell stuff like that. I don't really do shrimp too much, but I will do it. But yeah, it's the fish and the plecos. I just really enjoy, breeding them and giving them new homes and stuff. So it's pretty enjoyable. I don't do, like I said, I had so many shrimp tanks before, but that was when I was injured and I couldn't work. And so this right here, it's comfortable enough. Pseudo McGill's, no. The Pseudo McGill's is what is that? Those are those orange ones that I think. What's my favorite ones? Look, I can't use my phone anymore. That's funny. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not, is it the red neon blues? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Pseudo McGills are like my second favorite. There's just so many of them, but I don't know if I have to choose. It's those orangey red ones. The red, yeah, I think it's the red neon, blue-eyed ones. Yeah, red neon, blue-eyed rainbow fish. Yeah, Pseudo McGills. Yeah. Yep. No, I don't have any of those. I actually somebody was uh looking for some shrimp, some neocaridina. Oh, wait, hey, whoa, let go. Yeah, looking for some neocaridina, and they said that they had the blue-eyed rice fish, that they would trade. So I mean, I messaged them, but oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, hold on. This camera rotates and does a bunch of cool stuff. But so I messaged him. I told him, I said, hey, I got blue dreams, high end blue dreams. I'll trade you for some those blue-eyed rainbow fish, or not rainbow fish, rice fish. But yeah, the Pseudo McGills, it's that would be the other one I'd like to. I mean, rice fish is cool, but yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to breed those. Those are the next. Those are probably my two favorite nano fish. Oh, did they? Oh, the RO2s. Yeah, those are cool. Hey, Fish Fam Link, what up? Yeah, the RO2s are cool. They got the bigger fins and the spots on them. Those are cool. Uh, but out of all of them, if I had to choose, it would be the one those ones, the red or whatever with the blue eyes or orange or whatever they are. Those are my favorite. But there's just so many. I would probably just want a tank of, every type I could get, every kind there are, maybe like, I don't know, let's say 3 of each instead of 2 of each. That'd be kind of cool. But, yeah, I'm sure that they do reclassify stuff. They gotta make new names all the time. And what's funny is my buddy, he gave me all this not leaf litter, but it's different things to put in the tank to grow bacterias and stuff on, and to tint the water, like an Indian almond leaf and stuff. How you can buy them packages with all the little nuts and shells and everything in it. The Indian almond leaves work, but this other stuff, I put this stuff in my tank, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Shrimps don't go by it at all. So that's why I never mess with that stuff. You got these little prickly balls that you drop in there. They ain't on it. It's a whole bunch of, stuff. I don't know what it is, but they don't seem interested in it at all whatsoever. They're on the glass eating the algae. There's no biofilm on that stuff. That, at least this stuff, I don't know. It's like there's nothing on it that's growing that's attracting them. And I fear that a lot of stuff that stores sell, people see that, or they're like, what's this thing supposed to do? But the leaves work really good. But this stuff here, not so much. I put it in here kind of as a gimmick. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll put it in there. But I highly doubt my shrimp will even bat an eye at it. So, no, it's they were actually, he took them out of a tank at a store. It could, or who knows, maybe they stripped them of everything already. But there's not even a shrimp on it. Not even crawling on it, not even interested or curious to see, what it's made of, or, if you put a regular piece of wood in there, they'll sit there and pick at it all day because it'll grow biofilm pretty darn quick. But this stuff, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. I didn't buy it, so I'm glad I didn't buy it, because I'd be pretty sad putting that in there. And they're literally, you would think they would walk on it because they're curious, pick at it a little bit, but there's little shrimplets walking past it and everything. They don't even stop. They just keep cruising by, picking out of the substrate. So, yep. But yeah. Got the new batch of baby brine shrimp hatched out. I feed it yesterday, fed it today, so it's the darkest today. I stick a heater in it for 2 days. Mine hatches in 2 days. And then I take the heater out of it and I just let it sit there and bubble until, I don't know, it may last 3 to 4 days after that before it just starts to die off. I try to keep them in that container and bubble them, but I don't overfeed. It's just that stuff is those baby brine shrimp are, it gets expensive if you buy them out of those little vials at the store. I think they're almost $10, and that's how I buy it. I need to order a can from online, so I can start hatching them that way. But I put it in my saltwater tank to feed my mandarin, dragonette. All the fish in there love it. Plus, when those blow around, it gets into all the living stuff in the tank, and they'll eat it all. Because it's just like copepods, so everything that's living in there if it lands on it, it'll stick to it and they eat it. I feed it to the CPD babies, the adults, because it makes the females, excuse me, makes the females want to lay eggs a lot. And so that's it. CPD babies get it. The CPDs get it. And then the saltwater tank. So I don't have a ton to feed it to, but I'll feed that for, however long, let's say 3 days. It lasts for 3 days. I'll feed it for 3 days. And then, I drain it all into a container. And when it's mostly all just dead, I'll start a new container. And then I'll just start feeding flake food. So I'll feed flake food for 2 to 3 days, give them the nutrition through there, and then I just put them back on the baby brine shrimp. Oh, you got the black box from the store. Yeah. I buy this. The eggs I buy are the same brand. They just, what is it? San Francisco, I think, but I just buy the bottle that's there. But mine, I just have an Evian, or it's a Fiji water bottle. It was like one of the strongest bottles at the store, so I think I paid like $4 for a water bottle so I could turn it into a baby brine shrimp hatchery. It's better than buying a baby brine shrimp hatchery from that dude who owns that one shop, and he wants 30-40, but I don't know, some ridiculous price when you could just turn a bottle upside down and do it that way. So yeah. Yeah, all that stuff. It's not hard. Here, my issue was, I don't know if I ever shared it. I think I brought it up once, but for the longest time, well, not like for months, but it was a little while. I was trying to hatch baby brine shrimp, and they wouldn't hatch. I'd only get like the smallest amount. You couldn't do anything. You could barely feed it with it. It was so small. I was like, what the heck's going on? And I go to my buddy's store, and everybody you see on YouTube, they're like, yeah, bottles after bottles, this stuff just hatches, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the hell am I doing wrong? So I went to his store, and he breeds red belly piranha at his store. So he's got thousands of them, and he feeds that baby brine shrimp just massive amounts all day long to these babies. And I was like, dude, what's up? And he's like, what? I just make it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I started to think, I was like, you know what? I said, all these, the store I go in, it's hot. And then he puts a light underneath it when he's doing the eggs. He puts a light underneath it so it warms it up. And so I stuck a heater in it, one of those heaters that only goes between 78 to 80. I stick that in it, plug it in. 2 days later, they're all hatched. So my problem was the water wasn't getting warm enough to hatch them. So that's the trick. At least the trick for me is I just stick it in there, plug it in. I put the salt water in there. I usually, I don't know. I'll let it oxygenate for a few hours. Then I dump the eggs in there, and I stick the heater in there and plug it in. It's not like I do it warm or dump them in warm water. And then a couple days later, the bottle's super dark and they're all hatched. And then I take the heater out, go wash it off, put it to the side, and then I just drain out. I'll drain out I have like scientific beakers up there, big mouth ones. I'll put a bunch in there, siphon out of it throughout the day, and then I just dump it back into the thing so it'll sit there and just churn them all night. And then the next day I drain out again and do the same thing until the color starts to change. When you start to lose that reddish color, that reddish brown color, then they're starting to die. So then I drain the whole thing, and that'll be the last day. I'll take out, because they go to certain areas for the light, I'll take them out and I just dump the rest out. And, because I don't want to put all those, all the dead ones in there. I don't want to take a chance of feeding, dead baby brine shrimp, so I just dump them. But yeah, it works really good. 10-gallon tub of Daphne just exploded. There you go. Yeah, hand pink waving. Bipolar Aquatics, what's up? I had what is it? I don't know. I don't know what to call it. That one dude, God, what's that kid's name? I don't know. This kid on YouTube, super smart kid. Well, I'm sure I could teach him a couple things, but he taught me how to get I don't know what you call it. You take a sponge filter and just squeeze a sponge filter into a container, like into clean tank water or even dirty tank water, but you squeeze a sponge filter in there and then you let the water clear. And then when it clears up and everything goes to the bottom, it's full of all the little bacteria, the little bugs and everything that are within the water column that are all living in that sponge filter. And so I have a container here with it, and they breed, and all the little ones go to the top, and I just stick a glass vial in there, scoop it up, and I dump it in the CPD tanks, and now they have those little itty bitty bugs to go around, and I can't remember the name of what he called them, but so then you have the tank with all the, because here's the thing is, the nanofish will go around and just sit and pick at, all the living organisms that are within the tank, so if you have a tank with, let's say 50 CPDs in it, they're going to decimate, any colony of anything that's living in there. So, it's good to replenish it. And now that I run bottom, no substrate in these tanks, to keep them even cleaner, there's nothing like living in the substrate in there anymore. So, I have to add all this in. Yeah, they go nuts. Sketty Nona, welcome. How are you? But yep, so that's how I do it. Gosh, I can't remember what they're called. I don't know. Bugs. They're out of the water column. But it was so interesting that you literally can just take the sponge filters out of your filter, out of, a sponge filter just bubbling, or a sponge out of your filter. The sponge filters that are in your tank, anything, just unhook it, put it in a bucket, squeeze it out, and something clear. And then come back in an hour or two, and it'd just be full of all those little itty bitty bugs that live inside the sponge. And then they separate, and then they just swim around and they go to the top, and I just dunk it in there and get them and dump it in. And then you can add more to it at any time, but they just sit there, swim around and live in it. You don't have to do anything to it or anything. Yeah, it's really incredible. Let me see if I could tell you his name. He just did a video today. I'll tell you his name. Oh, here he is. Keeping Fish Simple. That kid. Yeah, Keeping Fish Simple. He did a video, how many shrimp can you get in 30 days type of deal. He did Coral Works. What up? Yeah, the Aussie guy. Yeah, he did how many shrimp can you get in 30 days? And you could get, 0, in 5 months. That's the whole thing. So I kind of made a video on that. Because there's a lot to shrimp. It's super easy to keep shrimp, but just like anything else, what I've always tried to explain to everybody, it has to, with so many things, the temperature, the pressure, the water pressure, what season you're in, which controls the air pressure, which controls the water pressure and the temperature. And, because they know when the temperature starts to change in the tanks, they know the seasons are changing. And, so there's a lot that, will stop a shrimp. There's a lot that'll, get them going. Like they say, oh, do a water change with cooler water. Well, not if your water's cooler as it is, in the wintertime here in Michigan. I don't use any heaters. They just sit here and at room temperature, but they'll go down to about 66 degrees, maybe 64. It just depends on, how much we run the heat, down here. But there's times that I went like probably 5 months and a tank wouldn't even think of having any offspring. I'm like, I don't understand, because people are like, hey, sell me those. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sell them to you because I don't know if they're at the end of their life cycle or not, because they won't breed anymore. And then a month later, they started breeding again. So, you could ask questions all day long. How many of this can I get? How many of this can I get in 30 days? But, a lot plays a part. So I guess in the perfect situation, in the perfect everything, if your tank is set up perfectly, if everything is running perfectly, and they want to breed, let's say they want to breed and they're getting pregnant, how many can you get? I mean, you can get a lot. Depends on how many females you have. One female can have, I would say probably up to 45 babies. And minimum, if she's a new mother, let's say 20 to 25. But usually always around the 30 mark. If the tank's good and you don't have anything in there that could kill them, or if they're not just dying for some odd reason, you'll have, it's if they eat, if you're feeding in time, if when they're born and their yolk sacs disappear, if they have an understanding of what to eat, stuff like that. If they don't just die off, you'll do all right. It's they're just little itty bitty crustaceans. So I mean, even with CPDs, I had a really hard time. Again, it's oh yeah, hey, they're real easy to breed. Yeah, sure. They're easy to get them to lay eggs once they're comfortable, and they have the right foods. Yeah, they'll lay eggs. They it's once they're going, they're good. But you gotta watch so you don't have too many males overpopulating, because then they chase the females and they beat them up, and the females don't want to lay. I can go in there every day and get let's say 40 plus eggs out of each cup, and I have 2 cups in there. But if I have too many males that are chasing them around, and 2-3 males on one female, they're stressing them out, I can go in there and there could be 3 eggs. So when I go to the store, when I take CPDs to the store, if I don't just take the really young ones, because I don't want people saying, oh, well, you're picking out the males, or, this, that, and the other. Well, I can't tell what they are when they're really young, because they don't have spots or markings or anything. But if my males start to get too thick, then I'll take males up, and even if I have 30 females, I'll only keep like 10 males, because one male can go, to multiple females. And then that way they're not freaking them out. And then that way the amount of eggs just continues to grow, and which is good, because, if I just keep moving them, I really don't have to worry about, too many males growing in the tank. But, you have to take into consideration too, if you keep selling, something like that. Let's say a lot of your adults, why is it pushing out so much air? Oh, it's just working really good, I guess. But if you're selling so many of your adults, what happens if your tank crashes and you don't have any males anymore and you didn't grow any up? So even with the plecos, the long fin super red bristlenose plecos, I was selling, and then somebody says, "Hey, do you have a breeding pair?" And I was like, "Well, no, just the ones that I breed." And then I thought for a minute, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happens if my male dies? I'm going to have to wait 2 years plus to get another male to size big enough for him to start breeding." I have 2 females, so if one was to pass away, I'd still be able to keep going, but I only have 1 male. So now my largest ones that that would run and I couldn't catch them because I had too much wood in there. I don't have that much wood in there anymore. But I moved them down to the other one with the CPDs for one to keep the algae down because they're I know all plecos, well, not all plecos, but bristlenose are really good with algae, but these long fins, these super reds are crazy good. Literally, they just you could put them in a tank that you can't even see through, and 2 days later, it looks like you scrubbed it and cleaned it with bleach. They're incredible. But so now I have some here in the CPD tank. I just put some because I took that filter apart over there to clean it because it was really grody. And when I took it apart, there's 2 itty bitty like fresh laid. So I put them down there in that hatch out tank so they can eat stuff down there. And there's probably 15 blue dreams down there. And then in this one here, I think I got 2 plecos, maybe 10 blue dreams. But yeah, I'll probably take these guys out in the next day or so, put them up in the big tank because the adults won't eat them because they're all big enough to eat baby brine. And then I'll do a mass. I'll take all the moss out, rinse it all out really good, shake everything out, and I'll clean the bottom of the tank really good, and then I'll throw the moss back in there, and then I'll just start dumping eggs. But yeah, and another thing where I was going with that too is, on how to do it with not having the information, it's like I was putting them in little containers, but then it's like the containers, the top of the water would get all, mucky and a lot of, bacteria, or not bacteria, but biofilm and stuff. And that stops the water exchange, the oxygen exchange and stuff, even though they don't need a lot. So, then, there's a lot that I had to figure out. And then it came down to, water. You can't run a filter when they're fry, it kills them. Not like they get sucked up, but it's the water speed. The water speed will kill them. So I just have little stone bubblers in there, just letting off, really light mist of bubbles just to keep that top broken up. And plus, if I put powder food in there, the fry food, it helps crack it from the top and it'll go down into the water column and it keeps that biofilm from there and it allows the water gases, the oxygen in the gases to exchange properly. But yeah, I was killing so many. I just couldn't. I'm like, I don't understand putting them in these containers because I would keep them in my catch cups. And then when they're all swimming in there, I'd put them in a tank with a sponge filter running. Well, the sponge filter was too strong. I don't, they don't run super fast, but you think those things are the size of a piece of hair and it was too much. It would kill them. I put them in another tank that had a filter running. I think I put like 150 in a tank. And like 2 days later, I had 3. And I just was like, oh my God, what's going on? And it was the water flow. You can't have the water flows, no good. So maybe I should have known that, breeding fish as long as I have. But now I know, and, they're sensitive. But once they get big enough and they're eating baby brine shrimp, I take them to my buddy's store and he puts them in the tanks. Because anytime he orders them, like from Florida and stuff, they die. They come in skinny. They come in waist disease and they die within a couple days. I'll go in there after a week. I'll take 50 of them up there and go in there after a week, and they'll still be swimming super happy. I'm like, I guess fish I bring you don't die. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's a totally different, whole different life, with the CPDs that I take up there and the ones that, stores order from these breeder companies or whatever, But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Even a sponge filter, you have to run it so slow. Seriously, so slow. Well, here, I'll show you how slow this is. Let me move the camera. It's no joke. You can see the little CPDs in there swimming around. They're all full of baby brine. There's probably 25 of them in there. But they're big enough now I can take them out. But see that little bubble? That's it. Just some little bubbles. That's all it needs. But I don't run. The sponge filter is actually in the back, just floating around. And the sponges are in there. But I use those to seed that tank down there, the 13.5 gallon. But you see the air line goes in there, and there's just stone in there. That's one of those Fluval all-in-ones because I love them. They're incredible tanks. But yeah, I just don't. I probably never turn that filter on. Now, if they were this big, I think that tank down there is still a little big. But I mean, here's the thing: growing up these fry, and with any fry, the only thing you have to look at, and here's what I do. I don't know. This might be a tip for people that are doing fish and breeding. You go, okay, you set up a tank. Get you some dirty sponges or what have you. Bring in some live bacteria. Throw some mosses in there and stuff that have biofilms on them, bacterias on them and stuff. Just an empty tank like these. Just chuck it in there. And, you want to keep these tanks, because there's nothing growing on the glass yet. The bacterias and stuff, they're not, they need stuff to continue to grow. And if your tank is just spotless and immaculate, it's going to be hard for that. It's going to deplete. Unless you really get a lot in there, like that all-in-one over there, that's got a filtration system in the back. And so what I did is I squeezed all the bacteria in there, all the filter pads. I probably put 5 filter sponges in there, squeezed them out, and then I ran that thing for like 4 days. So all that bacteria is living in the sponge filter in the back. So it's got this huge colony. But a tank, let's say you have a tank and you didn't want to wait, you just wanted to jump into it. Well, what I do is the only really time that you want to change water, that you need to change water in a tank that has fry in it, is if you feed baby brine shrimp, because they're hatched in salt water and this is fresh water, of course. But dumping all that salt in there all the time, a lot of people use a sieve. Like I use a coffee filter, but I don't like to do that because I don't want to get any of the cyst eggs in there. So what I do is I just drain it out into a container, and then I let them separate themselves. They'll collect into a certain area, and then I use a syringe from the store, a baby syringe. You just suck them up into that little baby, and then you just go around and squirt them where it needs to go. Well, if you check the TDS in these tanks, you could go check it. It'd be skyrocketed. Well, what it is it's all that salt. Well, it's not like I'm dumping bags of salt in here, but it's enough to raise the TDS, to where, your meter, is going to read a lot higher than it's supposed to. Well, that's a good time that you want to do water changes, because you don't want the fish, living in a water that's got a higher salt, the salinity's higher. So that's really when it comes. And now you got 10 gallons. This is a 10 gallon. The 60 gallon up there, I got way longer time in between. But the 10 gallon, you figure you put a little baby squirt in there. I mean, you put thousands of baby brine in there and just a little squirt. So if you can get a water change on that, even a gallon, 2 gallons, like once a month, it'll be good. But that's one thing you got to watch, because you don't want just the salt content to get so high in these tanks that, it's astronomical and it's hard to get it out of the tank. So this tank's fine. I mean, I've been using this tank for probably 8 months, breeding, raising the fry in it. Now I have that one down there because it's an extra 3.5 gallons. So now I can scoop these guys out of here, put them up there with the other ones that are grown up and with the parents, because these fish like to school. They like to be around a lot of others. And it also, they eat in packs. So it helps the little ones get bigger, because, in a big tank, they just follow everyone where it's going, instead of here, it's so small, they just come to the front and, it's like handed to them. So, that's how I like to do it. And then if people order, I just, feed them. And then when they come up, I just go in there and start scooping. And it's good as it is. I like the small all-in-ones to keep hearing people say they don't like them. My saltwater tank's a 40 Nuvo all-in-one. I love them. I had the 33.5 gallon Fluval all-in-one. But these, the 5 gallon Fluval all-in-ones are sweet, but the 13.5 gallon's got a nice stand on it, so it doesn't sit right on the thing. But there's just this thing, I got this for free. Somebody brought it into my buddy's store, but it doesn't have a lid, doesn't have the light. It just has the pump, the filtration system. It's got all that stuff in the back, which is great. It's all I need. It's got everything you need except the lid and light. I don't need that because I have, these garage lights. I use one light to light up 5 tanks. I don't do one light per tank. And I got that idea from a guy I met over the years. It's an Asian guy. He moved to Florida, and he would show me pictures of his breeding room. And he actually had like a clip-on light from a desk, like from back, 30 years ago. And what he would do is he would turn the light on and he would just clip it over whatever tank he was working in. But he had like a main room light, there's some breeders out there that, especially like I used to breed discus, and there's a lot of discus people that do this. I'm sure that's where the idea came from. I'm sure they didn't get the idea from someone, but what they do is they have a main light, a low dim room light bulb, and they leave it on 24/7. So the fish can sleep or, whatever, but they're never frightened to where they'll eat the babies. So if you walk by, they can see you. If, you come into the room, anything, they can see movement. They're not startled to where they'll eat the babies. And then when they go to work on a tank, they'll take a light and put it over that tank and just work on that one tank, so they're not freaking everybody out. But they'll have like a wall of tanks like this. And let's say they're just all 10s, or let's say 20s. Usually 20 talls are really good. And that's it. They have their breeders in there and they have one light bulb, like let's say a 30 watt. And it's in it all the way up on the ceiling. They turn it on and it's like a night light. So when I would do the discus over there, I actually bought a light that would charge up in the window in the day. And then at night it would turn on and it would just shine. It was like a little light and it looked like a moon. So I mean, it's like at night in the Amazon, they see the moon, but it was just something that would light. It was a light that they could, it made them feel safer. So that was a big thing. Yeah, I ship everything. Yeah. Yep. All you got to do is order. I ship everything. I had a website. And then when I went back to work and everything, I stopped pushing as hard, and, I broke everything down to what I have now. I just let the website run out. And what I got to do, I mean, you can message me on here. You could private message me, whatever. But what I'm looking for is I got to get a phone, a cheap phone that does 5G, because I have, my phone's dying. I have other chips I could put into a phone and it'll turn it on, and I want to use it as a business phone. So, so I can give the number out and people can just call instead of having to go on a website and all that. You still just do through PayPal, or, that's how I did everything else. But it's just less of a hassle. I mean, you can literally just call me, and if I'm able to answer the phone, I will. If not, my wife can answer the phone. But yeah, we do all the orders. But I've been shipping shrimp. Shoot. I started shipping shrimp probably, I don't know, it's quite a few years. He's going to be mad at me. I was supposed to ship some longfin super red bristlenose plecos out. A buddy of mine wants some, and I told him I'd send him one or two. So he sends my son a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Knives from the military from World War II was his grandpa's and stuff, and my son collects knives. So, he sends my son a lot of cool things, and, his family's real nice, and they call and they, send us things. And, so I just told him I'd send him a couple. They're expensive. I don't sell them. I don't want to sell them for, they're like $32, $30 to $32. I don't know. I haven't checked it in a while. I'm thinking just sell mine for $22.50 to $25, so it's not killing everybody. Shipping. I charge like a flat $15 for shipping, because if you're far away, it covers it. I don't have to go, call you up and go, well, you owe me $3, nothing like that. So that's why I like to drop it down. And plus, if I can hit 1,000, I'm really close to 1,000. We want to do this big giveaway. My son wants me to give away plecos and shrimps and CPDs, and but I got about 41 or 42 more subs I need to get, but we're gonna do a really big giveaway. So yeah, the Startle stories are big, so it's a big thing. And even when it comes to plecos, if you have zebra plecos, I mean, geez, those things sell for $100 an inch. My buddy has them at a store, and they won't even breed for him. I told him, I said, give them to me. I'll try. I'll breed it. But I used to know a guy. He was retired from Ford Motor Company, and he was older, and he would buy every zebra pleco he could get, adult, and they're $100 an inch. So if it was 4 inches, he's paying $400. 5 inches, $500. He didn't care. I said, why do you buy all these plecos? He said, because when I sell them, he's like, I take all that money and I spend it on my grandkids. I say, you're kidding me. He's like, no. He's like, I don't need. He's like, I have enough money for me to live. He said, but to spend all this money on my grandkids, he's like, I need another way of making money. And I went over his house one time, and his basement was so dark, and he turned the lights on. They were so dim. And he had I think he had 6 100-gallon long tanks, 2, 4, 6. So it was 2 racks, 6 of them. Then around the corner, it was where he would breed them out and stuff, or let them grow up and everything. But he'd turn the light on and be so dim. And then after we'd be in there for a minute, then he'd turn some lamps on to brighten it up. Yeah. A baby what? The zebra pleco? If you bought a real zebra pleco, you might not have bought a real zebra pleco. There's ones that look like the zebra pleco. Believe me, I'm the pleco guy. I've had the top ones out there right now. The big money makers are the frog pleco, zebra pleco. What was it? Gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to remember all these. But those right now, there's some out there that call for a lot of money, but the zebra pleco calls for the highest amount. Yeah, zebra. Well, if you have a real zebra, you got down. No, not Snow White's. Oh, it's a queen. It's a queen. God. Queen something. That's an expensive one. They're like 75 because the frog plecos are like, well, at least here in Michigan, they're like $100 a piece. And that's a good size pleco. You know, the L333s, those are like a $65 pleco. Or no, they're 35. Yeah, I think they're like 35 or 40 just at, an inch. Or are they 65 at an inch? I know they're expensive. I think they're 65 at an inch. But like, the longfin super red bristlenose, they sell them 30 plus. I called the guy. There's a guy out here that spent a buttload of money on plecos just before they put that list out of plecos that they wouldn't import anymore because they were on the list. And he spent like $60,000. He owns a store out here, and they bought the building next door to him, spent all this money. Well, he didn't. I'm sure he rents it, but he filled it with fish tanks, and all it's in is plecos, and they're stacked like books. The tanks are stacked like books, and all they do is just breed. And I call him one day before I had these. I say, hey, a buddy of mine wants some longfin super red bristlenose plecos. So how much are they? He said, $30 for you, $30 for 1 inch. I said, well, he was saying something about he wanted an adult that was ready to breed. He's like, add a zero. So I was like, $300. He said, yes, add a zero if you want an adult. I was like, holy shit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to switch to them because I was just breeding regular bristlenose plecos, and I was selling them to my buddy at a store for, God, he'd buy now those guys, they were having, man, I don't even know how many babies at a time. 100 easy, 80. I was selling them to him for like $2. There was like probably to where they were just starting, they were eating green beans. I would scoop them out and take I'd take 150, 200 of them up to them probably once a month. And, but the bad thing is he didn't feed them right. So he didn't take care of them right. He thought he was treating them like they were coming from the store and they were old, because you go to pet stores don't feed their stuff. That's why when you go in there, it all comes to the glass. They freak out or they're super skinny. They get sick because pet stores don't want to clean their tanks and they don't want to spend money on the food. So, you give a guy, 200 plecos and he puts them in a 180-gallon tank that's full of algae. And they decimate the algae, literally decimate it in like, I don't know, a week. And then there's nothing left. Well, you have to feed them. You have to supplement them. You have to dump a can of green beans in there every 2 days. Yeah, it didn't happen. So, I'm taking hundreds of them and I'm going in there going, man, you selling all these plecos? He's like, I don't know what's wrong. They're just falling off. I'm like, are you feeding them? And he's like, well, I thought that they'd eat what's in the tank. I'm like, dude, it's all gone. So I just stopped doing that, and I switched over. So is there a way to message back and forth on YouTube here? Yeah, you got a comment thing down at the bottom. I mean, private message. I don't know. I don't know. You can go on another stream that I have and message me there. Just go into the messages and send me a message there. It'll come right through. Yeah. See, this isn't YouTube. I'm streaming through StreamYard. So you could talk through here all day. I know that there's I don't know on your side if you can do. Okay, hold on, comments. No, that shut it off. I know that there's here it is, private chat. Yeah, so private chat with everyone in the studio. All right, hold on, let me see something. Oh. Now, I don't know. Let me do this. I don't know if you click on this, if you'll be able to send me a private message. Because that's the stream to come up here. But usually that's what it is. You can hop on an old stream and just go into the comments and just comment through that way. But where do you live? Where are you located? Oh, you're in Illinois? I'd like to get some. You got email or whatnot? I'll get something going. I got PayPal. I'm down in Central Illinois. Oh, okay, Illinois. I seen that. I didn't. Oh, that was a Scatty Nona message. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Illinois. Okay. Oh, yeah, they'll get to you fast too. Yeah. Yeah, Illinois. I'm in Michigan. So if you look up Livonia, Michigan, that's where I'm at. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever heard of University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I'm probably 20 to 30 minutes from downtown Ann Arbor. And I'm probably 25 to 30 minutes from downtown Detroit. So, I'm like centralized in between the two major cities. But yeah. Oh yeah, it's nothing. It's easy. Easy. And the weather's not, it's not the end of the world right now. So, I mean, it gets cool, but I have heat packs. So I can put a heat. God, look at this phone. Look at that. Yeah, it dropped it. It hit right there. See it? Yeah, that sucks. I remember years ago. I can't even shut the fucking thing off. I remember years ago, I was wearing a flannel shirt, like a flannel jacket, insulated one. And I was laying underneath my Mustang, and I had this is back when I had an iPhone, and I had it in my top pocket, or inside the inside pocket. And I was underneath the car looking at something, and all of a sudden I heard, I felt it slide across my chest, and I heard it go, tunk. And I just looked at it. It was laying face down, but I had a case on it, just like this, rubber case. And when it fell flat, it hit a little pebble, shattered the glass. And that was in 2010. Maybe 2011. And I've never broke or anything. And I just did it. It was here. It slipped off my leg, bounced off the table leg here. And I picked it up. I was like, dang. I stuck it on the chair and I turned it, slipped off again. I said, how many times am I going to do this before it breaks? And I picked it up and it was broken. And my son dropped his probably 3 months ago, slid off his bed, and it hit a padlock on the floor. It shattered it. And then my wife broke one. She broke the iPad. She broke the iPad screen. I don't know if she ever broke her phone screen, but she broke the iPad screen. Yeah. So. But all right, it's an hour and 9 minutes. I usually only stay on an hour, so I'm gonna get off here, and start getting everything ready for tomorrow. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And yeah, you need anything, just message me on this stream once I get off. Just send me messages, and we can contact each other that way. Maybe I don't know, Facebook or something, it goes really fast through there or whatever. But yeah, just contact me and we'll hook up and do whatever you need. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. And if you have anyone that it's interested in the aquatics life, send them on over. Like I said, I think I have 41 subs to go before we hit 1,000, and we do our big giveaway. So, we're looking forward to that day. It'd be nice to get it done before, before the New Year's hits, even before Christmas hits. That'd be cool to gift people their stuff, But all right, just want to say thank you very much for hanging out. It meant a lot. People that were here, I hope that I made your night a little more interesting than what it was. You made my night good by stopping by and hanging out. So thank you very much. And I hope I earned your subscription. And look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Well, this Saturday. Yep. Every Saturday, 9 o'clock. I just came on early this time because of the holiday. But I will be here 9 o'clock Eastern time every week. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. And from Detroit, peace from the Motor City.